Hey everybody, happy Thursday. Thanks for being here with us on Northern Life. If you're sick of our two sorry faces, just seeing our two sorry faces,
Hey,
you got today, you got tomorrow, and then Monday, you got three of us. You got
Briggs is back finally.
Oh my gosh, for a day, and then I think I'm gone on Tuesday or something like that.
But
but that's neither here nor there.
we'll figure it out.
We got Briggs back. That's what's going to be the
Now
cool
that Briggs
part.
is back, Hunter's going to be gone for 3 months.
Yes,
and then I'll be gone for 3 months.
Exactly. We're all going to have kids. Why not? It'll be fun.
Well, after yesterday's conversation. Also, I got to say that Hunter, you were correct. I don't think I gave you a hard time about the soap yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
But the soap did smell
You did
like
smell
a car
it?
wash.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's the best. And then I went to a car wash yesterday too, and I'm like, this is exactly what I just smelled. It's the best thing ever. So I don't know who filled those soap things, but I am forever grateful to
Very
you.
thankful. Yeah.
Very,
and,
very nice.
I was sticking on the theme of a car wash with temperatures being so cold across Minnesota. Our poor lips, taking a beating, our
Sure.
skin as well. But thankfully, Quick Trip has come to the rescue with new flavored lip balms. They shared this picture on the product on their Facebook page. And the flavors include their Nature's Touch chocolate milk, their fan favorite glazers, the very popular Karuba coffee, and then a car wash flavor.
You can have your lips smell like a car wash?
You might as well just eat soap. I don't know.
Yeah. Which
Car
we've all
wash
done
flavor.
before.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Maybe it's like bubblegum flavored, I would assume.
because it does smell like bubblegum
Yeah.
for the most part. So I bet it's bubblegum flavored. Now,
Yeah.
can you actually lick it and it tastes like that? Is that how lip balm works?
Yeah, it's how you put on, put
It's not
lip
the
balm.
smell, it's the taste?
Yeah, I think it'd be both.
Okay.
Yeah.
I used to have Hershey's lip balm back when I was a
I
kid.
remember you talking
Oh
about
yeah, and I
that.
took like a bite out of it, and it did not taste like Hershey's. That was not a good thing, but it smelled like Hershey's. It was really good.
Yeah.
But guess what? We got a lot coming up on today's show. Coming up on today, it's a sit down we thoroughly enjoyed having in downtown Duluth. We stopped by Insight Counseling, hearing why therapy may be a good choice for you as we look to kick off the new year on a high note. Very good people down there, and very good at their jobs. That's for sure.
Yeah, very helpful. And also ahead, a North Dakota hockey player is recognized for his hockey hair, growing it out for the years here thanks to the support of his parents in Bismarck.
Excited to see how long it is.
Yeah,
Interesting.
showing off the flow.
Sure.
Hey, we're getting closer to tax season, though, and guess what? Nearly 1 in 5 Gen Zers like Hunter believe you can write anything off as a business expense when
Why not?
filing your taxes. Everything's a business expense.
Write it off.
Write it off. That's according to a new survey by TurboTax. Gen Z also believes that students don't need to file taxes and that if you're paid in cash, you aren't required to pay taxes. Also, on the other hand, baby boomers were even more likely to believe that you don't need to file taxes and you can't get a refund if you make under the IRS income requirements.
Wow, interesting. I did not know that part, but I definitely file taxes, of course. I'm a Gen Zer.
Okay,
Filed
good for all the IRS agents out there
Right.
watching. Yep.
I'm going on the record as saying I do file taxes, and when I get paid in cash, I file that as well.
Okay,
so
all
we're all
right.
on record there.
Good news.
It gets very complicated with the band, though.
Yeah,
so
I bet.
I haven't done my own taxes in probably 10 years or something like that. I've paid somebody else to do it for me, help me out. I've done taxes the past 10 years. You can look back. I've
You
done
paid
my
someone to
taxes.
do them.
Yes, I paid
Gotcha.
somebody to do my taxes for me because it's just too complicated, and I haven't gotten a refund in like 10 years or something
Wow.
like that either because we don't pay taxes up front with the band. We get the income, and then at the end we have to pay this big lump sum,
Yeah.
and it gets to be pretty big. So
That makes
even
sense.
with the kickback I get from this gig, I have to gig. I don't know if that's what it's called, but the kickback I get from this or whatever, it goes right into just paying for the band.
Gotcha.
So
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Do you,
well, here's the thing. I watch this guy called Caleb Hammer on YouTube, and he has people on all the time who are about our age, and some of them are hundreds of $1,000s in debt.
Oh,
and a lot of the time they say, I haven't filed taxes in the past 5 or 6 years, and you go, I don't know how you get away with that.
How can you live
And
like
you're going
that?
on a channel that has hundreds of thousands of views.
Yes,
And
yes.
the IRS agent's probably figuring out who you are.
They're for sure going to be looking you up.
Very helpful. I love my mom. Mom, I love you. And my mom is an accountant, so that very helpful.
I should go through her.
Yeah, you might have,
Oh
you
my
might have
gosh,
to.
that's very cool.
Carroll LLC.
Wow.
Yeah. That study also found 5 major tax terms. You'll see if me and Hunter kind of know any of them. The major terms that Americans are least familiar with. The top one, sole proprietor. And then you got capital loss, cost basis, below the line deductions, and above the line deductions. Hunter, any on there you feel confident about?
I think sole proprietor just means only owner of
Sole
a
owner,
business.
yep.
Only-
Capital loss, I would assume like on the stock market, capital gain, capital loss.
Sure.
I would assume. I'm not sure about the above the line
Yeah.
deduction and a below the line deduction.
It sounds like we should start to learn about that, though. I wish I knew more about that because I feel like we're missing money opportunities
Yeah.
here and there. But it's just there's no time to learn, and you got to pay somebody to learn all that stuff. It's like, I don't know. Is it worth it doing all that? I don't know.
Seems like a good shoot for our team to
Oh,
go
there we
go
go.
on for tax season.
Oh, good advantage of having a show is you can do this stuff.
Somebody please help us.
Yes.
Hey, for our northern Minnesota viewers, you could turn your pine cones into cash. The Minnesota DNR is looking for 2 specific varieties of pine cones, offering to pay for them. They're currently looking for black spruce and jack pine cones. Different types of seeds and pine cones have different going rates, all paid by the bushel. The going rates for the black spruce cones is currently $100 a bushel, while jack pine cones $30. Collection offices, you can find those in Baudette, Cloquet, Deer River, Hibbing, Little Fork, Orr, Tower, and 2 Harbors. I got more information on the Minnesota DNR's website.
$100 a bushel. That's quite a bit of money. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
You have to be out there picking up a lot of pine cones.
Yeah.
But
I've got jack pine by my house. That's
Oh.
only $30. I don't have any black spruce, I don't
I'm
think.
coming
so.
over to your house. I'm
Seriously.
invading your property to get some bushel money.
Why not?
Hey, how about this? The FDA is proposing a new requirement to have nutritional info displayed on the front of food packaging. Agency is proposing that levels of sugar, saturated fat, and salt, 3 nutrients directly linked with chronic diseases when consumed in excess, according to the FDA, be displayed on the front of your food products in the grocery store. The FDA wants to make it easier for consumers to kind of make healthier choices out there. So the new labels would be in addition to the standard ones on the back already. And if finalized, that new rule would go into effect as early as 2028.
I guess I don't mind that rule. I don't think it's going to deter me too much. I'll probably still buy all those saturated fats.
That's where you just go, you look and you go, I don't see the label.
I don't want to look. Just get a black Sharpie and scratch it all out.
That's going to be interesting how people fit their, the current look with that new look.
Yeah, because it has to be in the front, so they got to maybe incorporate it in the logo or something. I don't know.
Still a proposal. Well, hey, coming up, we're seeing a therapist. Our meaningful chat is coming up next.
Welcome back, folks. Even though life is filled with so much beauty and joy, there are incredible challenges out there that we have to face as humans, and many people seek therapy for mental health issues, relationship challenges, and of course, life transitions.
Here in the Northland, Insight Counseling is a mental health private practice providing healing and treatments for people here in Duluth and Virginia, Minnesota. We stopped by to ask questions about when you should start thinking about therapy.
We're excited to help people who maybe are looking for a fresh start in the new year. And funny enough, I for years and years I put off doing therapy, but I see Zach upstairs for therapy. So I told myself I don't need therapy, and now that I did it, I feel like I'm such a better person. What would you say to others, maybe our viewers out there, who might be in a similar place where they say, I that's not for me, but they most likely would need it? How would you inspire them to come down?
No matter whoever else you have, whether it's a friend, a spouse, they will listen to you for so long before they either offer their opinion, tell you what you should do, give you the advice, or just say, thanks, I've had enough and now I'm going to go do something else. And there's something very human about having that witnessing and presence as you go deep inside of who you are and have someone reflect that back to you.
I've had guys in my men's group who are like, you guys, I always said I was never going to do this. You have to do this. It's amazing. And that's like, the best thing to have somebody come out and have them have such an amazing experience. And they're like, oh, it's so different than you thought it would be, and that kind of thing. So I think a lot of people don't necessarily quite know, like, what actually happens in a therapy office.
Not every emotion, not every anxious thought needs to be therapized out. Not every time you're down, you're down, you broke up with your boyfriend or girlfriend or partner this weekend, you stayed in bed, you ate Ben & Jerry's ice cream, and then on Monday you went back to school, you went back to work, and you're functioning. That's okay. That's expected. These highs and lows in life are expected, and they're not some big diagnosis that you necessarily have to have. And no, you don't really need to come if you're just having a bad day. If it lasts, if it's persistent, negatively affects multiple areas in your life, then of course reach out.
I also want to touch on if somebody who first is coming into therapy, some people have an idea of what they want to talk about. But if somebody has no idea where to start when it comes to therapy, what does a first meeting with a therapist look like?
We ask a lot of questions. We ask about childhood. We ask about, the first sessions are sometimes a little bit, I don't want to say clinical, but it's just gathering information, and all information is good information. And so it really is this gathering. And I would say for probably all of us, don't want to speak to everyone else, but pretty much after that first session, the therapist and the client, we have a pretty good idea where we're going to go. And I think a lot of times what we see is people come with one thing: I want to work on anxiety. I want to work on, I was just in a car accident and I'm a little afraid to drive now, or something like that. Or they really, they're a little unsure. And a lot of times it's really not what they're coming in about. It's once we dig deeper, it's about something else. And there was this quote, in I think it was the New York Times a couple of years ago that said, "Yes, it's all your parents' fault." Which, as a parent, I hear that. But a lot of times, a lot of these things, the anxiety or depression or things like this are, learned behaviors.
I think what you said, you grow up in a family system, right? So you learn how to function, survive, you grow, so one, not necessarily the best example, right? But one person who had a parent who, they had a scary thing that happened to them in, say, drowning or close to drowning, right? And then they sometimes will pass on that fear of water to their kids, right? Generational trauma goes way, way, way deeper than that. But that's one surface example of just how you can carry that on and not even realize why you're holding that until you've kind of uncovered some of that or had some, epiphanies around it.
As you're growing up, if you have that this is how we deal with anxiety, for instance, then that's how you deal with anxiety. We're like, well, fly off the handle, or we scream or we yell or we bury our heads in the sand or whatever it is. And so a lot of those are learned behaviors that you can unlearn through therapy.
We know that the number one predictor of success in the therapeutic realm is the alliance, the relationship between client and therapist. So yeah, we're just doing this, what we're doing today.
Yeah.
And we've heard everything here. So it's everyone thinks, oh my gosh, if I come with this, they're going to shame me because I've never told anybody and things like that. And I think don't let shame be an obstacle for you.
It was a really helpful chat, to say the least.
Yeah, very, very knowledgeable, every single one of them. And I'm very happy to see also that the stigma and everything around therapy is getting better. Even the past 5 years, it's gotten more and more acceptable to go to therapy. I mean, everybody should be doing it if they feel they need to be doing it. It seems like it's a very helpful thing.
And as you heard at the start there, just to be honest with you all at home, I was in a very dark place coming back to Duluth after moving back from Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And, you're kind of stuck and you don't want to show off that shame or that guilt that you might have. And so the fact that, I decided to take that step and go to therapy and got the help that I needed.
Amen.
Folks out there can do the same, and there's no shame, there's no guilt.
No.
Whatever you need help with in life, you're going to get that help if you take the step to do it for yourself.
Speaking from personal experience, that's beautiful, Ryan. That's awesome.
Thanks, Hunter.
Yep.
Well, hey, we actually have a part 2 to talk about, but we're going to talk about more of our time at Insight Counseling when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. Continuing our therapy talk there. The other thing, too, about going to therapy for the first time, you want to be a cheerleader for therapy for the rest of your life.
Really?
As soon as I got done, my first two sessions, I was like, guys, you need to go to therapy.
Really?
You need to try it out. I felt like such a, it was somebody who's on a health kick.
Sure.
You're like, dude, you gotta start drinking smoothies or whatnot. But a big thanks to the team at Insight. We're actually gonna have a part 2 that's coming up next Thursday, continuing that conversation. We'll also have information on how you can get help with them at northernnewsnow.com. Once again, part 2 coming up next Thursday.
Woo!
Yeah, good stuff. Also, if you know someone who is struggling out there, you can always call the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. They do provide 24/7 confidential support to people in suicidal crisis or mental health related distress. Our show is one that's very upbeat, very light, but at the same time, we might not all be in the best headspace at times. So
it's Northern life. Life is, like they said in the package, has its ups and downs, and you got to respect the downs as much as you respect the ups.
Yeah,
So that's what therapy's all about.
Get out there and take care of yourself, too.
Yep.
Well, hey, let's switch gears. Let's head to the ice. Over in North Dakota, there's a young athlete who's being recognized for his incredible hockey here.
I'm excited to see this. Jody Kurzman tells us more about his passion and inspiration for his hair and the sport of hockey.
Beckham Wetch lives and breathes hockey. The 11-year-old admits he might even be a little obsessed.
Yeah.
It all started on his 2nd birthday.
Good job, Beckham!
When his uncle took him skating for the first time.
Hey, ski to Uncle Austin!
He's been hooked ever since.
It just never stops.
Beckham has even converted his parents into hockey fans.
I never played hockey. I can skate now because of him.
He skates every day, either at practice or on his backyard rink. Beckham's ultimate goal? To play in the NHL.
Hopefully someday.
But for now, it isn't his hockey skills that are catching people's attention, but rather his hockey hair.
Best flow, first place.
This glass puck is Beckham's latest hockey trophy.
Yeah, I won it for the most votes.
Beckham won People's Choice for Best Flow at a recent Minnesota hockey tournament.
I got the most votes, so then I won.
Beckham has been growing his hair for the past 2 years with full support from his parents.
I had long hair in high school, so I was okay with it.
He plans to keep growing his hockey hair because Beckham says hockey hair might just make him a better hockey player.
Gives me more like confidence.
Confidence to help him go with the flow as he skates toward his hockey dreams.
That's some good hair, dude.
It looks like a bunch of spaghetti on top of his head, but it's in a good way. It looks also exactly like his mom. His mom's got the curly hair.
Yeah.
He's got the curly hair too. That's how genetics works, I guess.
You get what you get.
You get what you get.
Other names, lettuce.
Sure.
Cabbage.
Cabbage.
Got some good cabbage.
What were you saying during the package? They got some lettuce on his head, or what?
Yeah.
That was interesting. I've never heard that before. I'm sitting there like, all right, that's a way to
That's
describe
pretty
it.
cool. We're only a couple of weeks, I believe, away from the, or maybe a couple of months away from the Minnesota state or the hockey tournament, state hockey tournament, where they, those kids really show off their hockey here.
When is Minnesota Hockey Day? Isn't that coming up too?
That's coming up too. Not this weekend, but the next weekend.
2 weekends away.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
wow. So a lot of hockey hair to be had out there.
We're going to see some flow out there too.
Yep.
Well, good stuff. Well, hey, we're going to talk about tomorrow's show when we come back after the break.
Welcome back, folks. Well, when we see you again tomorrow here on Northern Life, we get an answer to the question, why do we cry in the cold here, Ryan?
I'm always crying.
I'm always crying. It doesn't matter if it's cold or warm. Plus, we have ice castles, high school chefs, and a chicken wing challenge to discuss, all coming up tomorrow. So nothing but exciting features. I'm very excited for tomorrow's show.
I got to tell you, my skin, we've been talking about this upstairs in the creative services department, but my skin is so dry from just the wind lately. Yeah, like my forehead, I got a big forehead, so that takes most of the wind. But you put your makeup on downstairs too, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to put more lotion on my face.
My hands are like a desert right now. I really need to get more lotion everywhere. I mean, it's just disgusting.
Got to get out by that Quick Trip car wash lip balm
there
too.
We go.
Yeah, help those lips out. Before we go today, a cat who went missing in New Hampshire turned up more than 700 miles away from home in Michigan. Kumiko was last seen 8 months ago, but the Ambler family recently received a surprising call saying their cat had been found in Ann Arbor, Michigan. They have no idea how the cat ended up there, but a local shelter scanned the cat for a microchip and was able to locate the family. They say this is a good reminder of the importance of microchipping your pets out there.
There must have been some hitchhiking involved or something, because there's no way that cat went 700 miles on its own.
That cat had some Delta credits to use before they expired. Well, thanks for joining us. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Thursday.
Find some time to throw a line, or just head outside to unwind. That's the life in the great North Woods. Hike or bike, whatever you like. Get out in the day, enjoy the night. Yeah, we got the life in the great North Woods. Yeah, we got the life in the great North Woods. Yeah, this is Northern Life.